desmos.com/calculator, my little plug, I don't get paid from them, at -4/3, we found that was an x-intercept, right? We saw it was -1.3 repeating was an x-intercept. So since that was our x-intercept, we're going to then take it as a fraction, -4/3. We're going to put that zero, that real zero, in the box, right, for synthetic division. The original equation was 3x squared. Let me see if I can show both. I don't think I can. There it is. 3x cubed, rather, minus 2x squared plus 22x plus 40. So I would put 3, -2, 22, and 40. And then I would begin my process of synthetic division, wouldn't I? We're going to confirm that Desmos was right, and we're also going to get our next piece of the puzzle. So we bring down our 3. If you multiply, I'll come to the side again, -4/3 times 3/1, that's just 3's cancel, -12 divided by 3, which is -4. Then I add down, I get -6. Again, I multiply -4/3 times a -6/1, which is positive 24 divided by 3, or 24 divided by 3 is 8. I add down, I get 30. Then I'm going to take again -4/3 times 30/1. Yeah, 3 goes into 30 10 times, so you get -40. What do you know? Desmos didn't lie. Okay, so that in fact is a remainder of 0, which means that -4/3 is a 0, and because it's a real number, it's an x-intercept. And if -4/3 is a 0, then p of x, I could begin the factored form way of saying things, couldn't I? Equals what?
X plus 100.
Well done, well done. And we talked last time how sometimes textbooks will have you rewrite it without fractions, but for practical purposes, that's sufficient there. All right, times what?
3x squared.
Well done. 3 is our first coefficient of a power 1 less than we started. So this is x squared minus 6x plus, it's supposed to be a plus sign, plus 30. All right. Now at that point, I realize I have a linear factor, okay, but I also have a quadratic factor. Now, if it's irreducible, then you get to stop with that, unless they're asking for all zeros, which they are, and then in which case you still find the i's, wouldn't you? But in this case, this is really nice, because they all have a 3 in common, don't they? So if I factored out that 3 for this quadratic factor, let's see what would happen. That 3 could go in front, for example. And we would have 3 times x plus 4/3. And what would be our new trinomial? Well done, guys. It's a little easier to work with. You could have worked with the original, but then you just have bigger numbers, right? If you're doing the quadratic formula, for example. Okay? Because, for example, right now, if I was going to try to continue with this, I would say, okay, is this guy able to be factored further, right? And you would say, well, what factors of 10 add up to -2? Only factors of 10 I know are 1 and 10, 2 and 5. And those numbers have to have the same sign, both negative. That's not going to happen, is it? So it's not going to factor over our nice number system that we're used to, namely the integers. It could factor potentially with rational numbers like fractions, but what I would need to do to find out if those are going to be real or imaginary solutions is use the quadratic formula or complete the square, right? So at this point, this part's done. I have that linear factor, right? But I need to talk about this one. So let's take x squared minus 2x and set it equal to 0, because that's what it would mean to be an x-intercept, right? Okay, if I do that, you can use your quadratic formula. I'll give you a couple minutes, or you can complete the square. This is an intermediate college algebra skill. So go ahead and take a minute and do that for me.